Leeds United are set for a massive fixture against Norwich City today, and it's going to be a big one. I've got the team news, I've got a breakdown of how Norwich play, and a breakdown of exactly how Leeds United can beat them. So stick around till the end. I think I've got some quite interesting analysis to talk about. First up, though, just a big thanks to the first person that decided to become a channel member. It's up to you if you want to have done so publicly. I don't want to name names if you don't want me to, so just let me know. But it's massively appreciated. Honestly, so much. Anyway, into it. Daniel Farke's team news. So, not too much in this. No new injury from Sunday, which means that in terms of selection, we're as we were. Not too bad. Willie Gnonto is still recovering from his hip issues, however, and will not be available for this match, and Pascal Struijk is still on the sidelines. We did get something interesting from Daniel Farke, however, as he said that Leeds United are 2 players short after losing Jed Spence and Luke Ayling. I completely understand this because we don't have a designated right back at the minute. Sam Byram's been playing over on the left, Ayling and Spence being pure right backs, and Archie Gray is basically a midfielder that's been sort of bodged into there. It's worked well enough so far, but you don't want to rely on it for too long. In addition to that, which looks like potentially signing 1 or 2 right backs, he said that the Pascal Struijk injury could decide whether or not we sign another centre-back going into the end of this window. If it's a long injury for Pascal Struijk, I can see us wanting to fill in that position because relying on Cooper or Ampadu dropping back in is far from ideal. So, with all that taken into account, my predicted lineup for the match: Illan Meslier just makes sense. Solid enough goalkeeper, doesn't tend to concede or make stupid decisions. I know people complain when he punches. He's been told to do it. Klaassen would do exactly the same. In front of him, Archie Gray at right back, Ethan Ampadu and Joe Rodon as centre backs, and Junior Verpo on the left. Sorry if I'm talking in a little bit of a hush tone, by the way, because it's like 11:41 the night before you're seeing this, so I don't want to be too loud. In the midfield, in front of them, we have Ilya Gruev and Glenn Kamara. They've been doing well enough in recent matches. Massively appreciate what they've been doing. Nice little metronomic football. They've managed to keep things ticking over. No big complaints there. And in the attacking midfield spots, go unchanged. Somerville, Rutter, James. Perfect. It's been working with Bamford as well. His movement has been elite in the past few weeks, and I like the little bit of a shithousery with the penalty. That was good fun. Anyway, outside of what Leeds United are doing, we need to pay attention to Leicester. So what happened last time we played them earlier on in the season when we went to Carrow Road? It was a brutal 3-2 victory. It was an insanely tenuous match where it was just constant, never-ending, end-to-end madness. We were 2-0 down at half-time, and it was starting to feel a little bit crap, to be honest. It was one of those matches where you're like, I don't know if I want to watch to the end. Kind of glad I did, though. It was a very tenacious performance. Somerville scored twice. They had an own goal. And managing to come back show that this side has a lot of character, something that we desperately need if we want to get promoted. And it's something that made me think we're a long way behind Leicester and Ipswich, but we can push on. And it was very open and aggressive from both sides. I don't see that changing at all in this match, but I will get into that in a moment when I talk about how Norwich City will play. So, done a little bit of a deep dive. This is less stylistically how they play, more a look at their strengths and their weaknesses and how we can look at countering them. Strengths. They are very, very good at creating and finishing their chances. They have outperformed their XG scored a little bit, but that's to be expected when you've got quality forwards like John Rowe, who is someone we'll have to try and deal with. We can expect a lot of wide play because they do rely on Rowe a fair bit, and on the other flank, I think it's Fastnacht that tends to play out there. Not as good as Rowe, but still not a bad footballer at all. And I genuinely feel like John Rowe will play on the right-hand side and try and target Junior Firpo. If they're clever, they might try and swap things around. Rowe on the left, try and target Gray, just because he can be outdone, like with Liam Miller. But that's a big question mark over what's going to happen. Weaknesses. I thought these were really interesting because it shows somewhere that we can really get at Norwich City. They have the 4th worst defence in the league in terms of XG. This shows just how much they've been outperforming at the top of the pitch because they've also been dreadful at their own end. The 4th worst, in reality, should have them just above the relegation zone, but they're in 8th place. And they've been conceding that many as well. It's not like they've managed to get away with it. They have conceded lots. It's just scoring lots that have made up for it, which, having the best defence in the league in terms of XG, we can counter that. That feels pretty good to me. In addition to that, they are very error-prone at the back. They've got a fairly aging backline, which I'll get into in a moment, but that means that our very pacey forwards can get at them and force mistakes, and Jorginho Rutera and his nice footwork will be able to work his way around them. Dan James is without a doubt going to outpace players. Crescencio Somerville, nice tricky footwork, can do exactly the same thing. I think that's a very, very promising opportunity for us. And to relate to this, they give away the second most penalties in the league for this season so far. We've received 7. I think we have the most penalties given this season so far, which is perfect because we're going to get into the box and we're going to cause them troubles with nice, clever footwork, potentially win penalties, and that will put us ahead, ideally, assuming the right people take the penalties, of course. And another fun fact is they are very bad at defending from counterattacks, which is another thing that we can exploit because we are fantastic at winning the ball and quickly transitioning and getting forwards and breaking them down. Now, how exactly Leeds counter Norwich and the steps that we take comes down to you, what you want to happen. But I've had a little bit of a look at their weaknesses, what we are good at doing, and this is what I think Daniel Farke will try to do. I think it might be a good idea at points for us to be happy to cede possession, to secure turnovers, to hit them on the counter. They do not have a fast back line. We can use our width and pace to get behind them because they have the third oldest squad in the league and they use it. Their defenders are not young spring chickens. It's not Joe Rodon being 23, 25, around that age, Ampadu the same sort of age, Archie Gray 17. We are talking high 20s, which means that Dan James and Crescencio Somerville will eat them up if they are given a bit of space in behind, and that is why I think we need to cede possession a bit, let them come onto us and hit them back. We don't need to do it every time, but once in a while it might be a good idea. In addition to that, we've seen Ruther play in that 10 role. I think it'd be a good idea for him to sit sort of relatively high in that 10 role, sitting behind Gabriel Sara, because Sara is not only one of their better attacking threats, but he can defend quite well. And if we are able to pin him back by making him mark Jorginho Ruther, perfection. Because Ruther is a player that you need to pay attention to. If we can take his defensive attributes and thinking away from Somerville, James, even Kamara making a run from deep, perfection. Brilliant. We can sort of disrupt the way they want to defend, ruin the way they want to attack, because Ruther is happy to track back and deal with Sara at the same time. And they look surprisingly similar. It's like, I think when I was initially making a thumbnail for the first match we played this season, I thought Sara was Ruther and an evil magician mustache. Bizarre. But we also need to be as clinical as possible. If Norwich are as open as I expect them to be, we'll get plenty of chances, but in the event that they are not, that's problems. We'll need to be intelligent, we'll need to finish our chances off, make sure that Ruther gets those shots on target because he will have plenty of opportunities. We just need to make him stick. My predictions for the match, I'm expecting an incredibly open match with Norwich looking to hit on the counter, but that will leave them equally exposed, giving Leeds United plenty of chances to get at them. Potentially, Norwich City will target the fullbacks as an area of weakness in our side because, let's be honest, it is. We need a little bit more depth there and a little bit more quality. As is, we're doing quite well with them, but, you know, it would be good to have better. I feel like we almost certainly score a goal in transition, and in terms of the score, I'm going to say Leeds United might win 3-1 if we start well. If we don't, it could be a comeback, it could be clawing our way back, but I think we'll be okay. Let me know what you think the score will be in the comments down below. If you get it right, I might give you a little bit of a shout out in the next video. Who knows? Comment. I've already done that one. Sorry, it's late. Like the video if you enjoyed and subscribe. Even become a channel member. It costs a few quid a month and I already have a channel member, so you can join the club. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you later.